guys, my name is Sam. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special announcement. So my birthday is coming up in May, and for my birthday I wanted to do something special to be able to include you guys and give back to one of you as well. So I have created a birthday bingo card. This is by no means my original trend. I saw this over on Bookstagram a little while ago, and I have been curating prompts and making my graphic for a couple months now. So I'm super excited to finally be able to bring this to you guys. So today we're going to go over the rules, the prompts, and I'm going to be giving some recommendations as well. So starting off with the rules, you obviously have to be subscribed to my channel and ideally have me on Instagram as well, because that's going to be the way that you guys are sending in your bingo cards for your entries. So as far as entries go, you would just have to post it up on your story and tag me. That's how I'm going to be keeping track of how many entries each person has. The next rule is that any books that are used for the card have to be ones that are completed in May. The third rule is that you are not allowed to double up. You'll see in the graphic in a couple minutes, but it is not a typical bingo board, so there aren't as many prompts as there normally would be. So I'm only allowing one book per prompt. In that same vein, each prompt allows you one entry, and a blackout gives you an extra 5. So it is possible to get a total of 14 entries for the bingo board. Last but not least, you have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on June 1st to submit your cards to me on Instagram. After that, it will close and I will be choosing the winner on June 2nd. Moving on to the actual graphic, I'm super excited to share this with you guys and hear what you guys think about it. I have been working on this for a little while, like I said before, so I'm happy to finally show it to you guys. And here she is in all of her glory. So there are 9 prompts, as I said before. I'm going to go over them and giving some recommendations. So the first prompt is red cover, and this is because red is my favorite color. The 2 recommendations I have for this, the first one should be quite obvious, and that is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. If there is a world where you have not read this yet, please pick this up. I would be so happy if you did, especially for my own challenge. This follows Brianna and Jacob, 2 doctors who have a kind of pen pal relationship in the beginning, and then they start to fake date for each of their own benefits, and it becomes more, obviously. And then the second book that I had to recommend for this, my cover is not as red as the floral cover, but it would still work if you think it counts, like a red title, a red something. You know, mostly red, it counts, okay? And so for this one, I have Crash and Burn. I'm gonna put the other cover on top of this so that you guys can see it has a little bit more red, but I would count that. And this one is about a girl who's in a hit and run and then loses her job because she was in the hospital for that and has to go out and find a new job. And in this new job, she ends up falling in love with the boss. The second prompt is continue in a series. This prompt is self-explanatory, any book that isn't the first in a series. And obviously, I don't know what series you're in to tell you recommendations specifically for this one. But for a shameless plug for my besties, I'm going to talk about the Twisted series. My friends host the Swoonie Readers Book Club, and this is their book club selections for the month of May. We're going to be reading through the entire series for the month. So as long as you're not reading the first one or not using the first one for this prompt, any of these will count, and that's just a way for me to get you to participate in their book club as well, because why not? The next prompt is published in May, obviously because my birthday is in May. My first recommendation for this is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I recently picked this up and thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a 5-star read for me. It follows 2 writers who challenge each other to write in the other's respective genre, and they end up hanging out and falling in love because they're spending so much time together. And then the next book that I had to recommend for this is Rewrite Our Story by Kat Singleton. This book is fucking beautiful, and even if you don't want to pick it up for this challenge, I would still highly recommend it. It follows Cade and Marigold, who have a second chance relationship after his mother passes away and she has to come back into town for the funeral because his sister is her best friend. In that same vein, with May being the 5th month of the year, I have decided to go with a 5-word title prompt. For this, I'm going to be recommending one of my favorite books of all time, Things We Never Got Over. If you haven't read this, listen, do it. Okay, this one follows Naomi after her twin sister kind of steals shit from her and leaves her daughter behind in Naomi's care, and she kind of has to stay behind in the small town and start to figure out where she's going to take her life, especially after finding out that she might have to adopt this 11-year-old girl, and obviously she falls in love with one of the townsfolk. And then another book that I'm going to be recommending for this is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. This is a book that I buddy read with Karina, and her and I both enjoyed this book. It's a magical realism book about a girl whose family has a curse on them. They start to lose their mental state after a while, and she's trying to figure out why this happens and potentially fix it. Also, I forgot to mention, but it should be obvious by the recommendation that I just gave, that this is not a romance-based challenge. You can use any type of book for this unless the prompt states otherwise, like in the next one being sports romance. And for my recommendations for this one, I decided to go abstract because obviously everybody's reading hockey, baseball, football, all those, you know, types of romances, but if it has a sport, it counts. I've picked Flawless by Elsie Silver, and the main character is a bull rider. I have recently finished this and thoroughly enjoyed it. It is big on the he falls first trope, and I absolutely loved it. And then the second kind of abstract recommendation that I put up for this was Throttled by Lauren Asher, which is an F1 racing romance between the female main character and her brother's rival in the racing competition. This one was really good. I haven't continued on with the series, but this one in particular, I thoroughly enjoyed. And like I said, obviously anything with the sport counts. So you could do the hockey, the baseball, the football, all the things. The next prompt starts with an S, obviously because I'm Sam. And the recommendations that I have for this are Sadie by Courtney Summer. This is a YA mystery thriller following a girl who's looking for her sister's killer. And then my second recommendation for this is another tried and true on my channel, and that is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I absolutely love this book. This was the book that got me back into reading, and it will forever hold a place in my heart. This one is a love triangle romance, which I know a lot of people don't love, but I didn't even know that going in, and I still ate it up. But it follows a girl who has a crush on her brother's best friend, and then they all go to the same college together, and she gets into a kind of situationship with one of the people on their team. I think they play football. Yeah, on their football. Hello, big ass football on the fucking cover. Anyway, on their football team, and so it's just a love triangle between the three of them. The next prompt is Animal on the Cover, and for this I have 3 recommendations actually. One being Flock by Kate Stewart. There's a big raven on the back, and if you're not on Flock in the series, all 3 of the books have an animal on the cover, so you could use the series as a whole. Then if you are participating in the Sweeney Readers book club, like I mentioned before, you could use the last book in the series because there is a butterfly, a couple butterflies on the cover, and bugs do count for this prompt. I am counting them because the reason that I put the prompt in here in the first place is because butterflies are my favorite animal, I don't know, but they count in this challenge. So you could use this. And then the last book that I'm recommending for this is Akatar. I can't show you my copy because it doesn't have the animal on the cover. I had that copy for a couple years before I collected the rest of the series this year, so they don't match. I'll pop a picture up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. The next prompt is to read a book featuring a kid. And when I say this, I do not mean that the main character or the main relationship, if you're reading romance, has to have children. So this could work in a multitude of ways. You could read a single mom, single dad, surprise pregnancy, middle grade, YA, as long as they're younger than 18. You could read something like The Plight Before Christmas, where you're reading about the main characters, but their family is in it. So they have nieces and nephews running around in the background. So you could use this term very broadly as long as there is a child somewhere in the story, even if it's not for a long time, it could work for this. Another example would be Things We Never Got Over because she's adopting her daughter, or Rock Bottom Girl because she is a soccer coach to a bunch of kids. She works for a school, things like that. Or, you know, specifically for my friends, I know some of them are reading through the Harry Potter series, and that could work for this because the children in that book are children. So This could mean anything you want it to mean, but the recs that I'm giving are specifically romances, and those are The Takeover by T.L. Swan. This is a single mom about a woman who is trying to revive her late husband's company, but it's just not working her way, and then some guy swoops in and is trying to buy the company from her, and she's like, fuck you, like, I'm not about to let my husband's legacy go down the gutter. And they kind of form a relationship. And then the second recommendation that I have is one, again, that is tried and true on my channel, and that is One and Only by Carlos Sorensen. This one is a marriage of convenience single dad romance that I absolutely loved and made it in my top 3 of last year. So I would highly, highly recommend this one as well. And then the last prompt is to read a book by a favorite author. And that does not mean my favorite authors. But if you wanted a list and potentially wanted to read one of my favorite authors, I could give you that as well. Just to name a few off of the top of my head, we have Elle Kennedy, Lucy Score, Megan Brandy, Abby Jimenez, Hannah Cohen, and Anna Huang. So those are a couple if you wanted to read from mine. This one is again curated for you guys in general, to just read a book that you know you're going to enjoy because it's from someone that you have enjoyed a book from in the past. So that is all the prompts and all the recommendations that I have. I will be talking more about this in my TBR video, because even though I'm not going to be getting any prizes from this, I will be participating in my own bingo challenge. So I'll have a TBR for that. And that way you guys can see what I'm reading for this. And if you wanted to pick some of those, I only recommended books that I have read and loved. So that selection will be obviously very different. But I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys participate. I'm just so happy and blessed to even have a community where I can do things like this. It just really fills my heart with so much joy. So like I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, the recommendations, the challenge in and of itself, and I hope you guys participate as well. If you guys have any questions about the bingo card or something that I forgot to mention, please leave it down in the comments below so that I can address any questions or concerns. But yes, this will be starting on May 1st and running through May 31st. Like I said before, deadline is 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, June 1st. And yeah, so everything else will be linked in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and being here. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully participate in this challenge. And I'll see you guys in the next one.